Welcome everyone, my name is Jacob, I'm from Colstack, and today we are at the React Native EU Conference 2023 in Wrocław, and with me is my beautiful guest, so please if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rory Abraham. I am a full stack software developer at Expensify, and I've been very involved with our React Native rebuild of our front end since we started back in about 2020.
That is so cool. So can you give me like a brief overview of what your talk was about?
Yeah, so Expensify has developed a very unique workflow for developing our product where it's completely open source, and we welcome developers from around the world to contribute to it as much or as little as they like. So, of course, we have a core team that works on it pretty much full time, but we have over 1,600 unique developers who have pushed code to our repo. And this, as far as we know, is unique, and it's generated a lot of interest, especially from freelancers and the companies that we work with to hire specialized talent. And so this is what my talk was about. I went into a little bit of detail of like what lessons we've learned along the way, and kind of some specialized roles we've carved out to make this work.
Yeah, I can confirm that it's really interesting. I've seen the project myself. I was one of the contributors, so definitely if anyone watching this is about to, go into open source, I think this is the project that is a good start for you, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think your talk, the subject you were talking about, matters to the community?
I think it matters because it is in and of itself a community. We have built opportunities that brings the whole React Native community together to work on a single product. So we kind of call them the big four: Callstack, Margello, Software Mansion, and Infinite Red. We work with all of these companies, and they collaborate together on a single app. So we really do our best to bring all of the best minds we can together to kind of advance React Native. We have committed to community ownership of our dependencies. So we are committed to not doing workarounds and always trying to add value to our dependencies or fix things upstream when needed. I think we've really carved out a big role in the React Native community, and we facilitate conferences and does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it even answers it better than I thought. But one thing that I would like to add is that because you are incorporating all these companies that you just mentioned to work together, and also the community of freelancers and open source geeks and stuff like that, you are able to actually create events just for these people, like contributor events, right? To celebrate and to share knowledge. That's very awesome. It's like when we have a contributors event for React Native contributors, and here you can have your own for Expensify contributors. Such a cool idea.
And we actually did exactly that back in March when we brought everyone together in Curacao, and we actually got a lot out of that event. We refined a lot of our processes. We were able to share our vision with the broader community and get a lot more engagement. So yeah, it worked out.
All right, that's very interesting. So regarding your talk specifically, I was very curious, how long did it take for Expensify to polish the process of working together with open source contributors, with companies like you just mentioned, the Big Four, and Expensify core team to make it work?
Well, as I mentioned in our talk, we kind of have an approach to problem solving where we just dive in and try it. And so this is what we did. We opened it up and we put some jobs on Upwork, and we're like, hey, everyone, you want to do work on our app? And you asked how long it took to polish that. And my answer is kind of infinity, because I think we can always make improvements, and we always do try and improve the process. It's not perfect. And I would say before we really had traction and like a very well-defined, written down process was about 6 months, maybe even less, actually.
All right, I would expect much longer, so that's impressive.
Yeah, and it evolves as we go. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So during the talk, you mentioned the famous Conway's law. All right, so basically, Conway's law, in short, it says that your organization structure affects how you build the software. In brief, so could you tell me how does this kind of organization affect Expensify?
Yeah. So, to disclaimer, I actually hadn't ever heard the term Conway's Law until Mike's talk, and so
Oh, really?
during
Okay.
his talk, I went and like put a note in my slide to mention this because I thought
Okay.
it was very applicable to what we've done. And so Expensify has a flat organization, and so for the most part, we are a flat team where all of our engineers can basically work on whatever really they're passionate about, and we've done our best to, instead of building like a hierarchical company, really build a community of people that are aligned in their common goals to like get shit done together, right? And this is actually kind of our vision for the product as well. We had this kind of, our existing app is like a powerful expense reporting app for businesses to manage their finances, but we kind of had this broader vision that it could be used to help any set of people collaborate together on not just finances, but really anything. And so that's why we actually went down to the basis of chat. So it's kind of like baked into our DNA through the product, through how our internal team is structured, and also why we decided to build this open source community and develop in the way we do.
Awesome. That is really interesting. I think this is a great material for some kind of book even, just to study the case. One argument to convince a manager that it is a good idea to go open source with our project.
We get so much access to specialized talent. I think this is one of the most important things. Like we get to build on these foundations that have been so many smart people have really worked on. I mean, throughout the course of this conference, we've seen people from Microsoft and CallStack and Meta, of course, really investing a lot of time into making the framework itself very powerful, very scalable, to solve the fundamental problems that are really challenging to solve. They are able to do this because of the help of the community. And so why not us? Basically, I guess I would flip the question around and say, why not open source?
That's a great takeaway, actually.
Yeah, it's easier. We get free CI for one.
Yeah, I mean, and you save on recruitment, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what is your general impression of this year's conference edition?
Well, this is my first time attending React Native EU, and I've learned a lot so far. It's really funny how it's such a popular technology to use, and there's kind of a small community, but an ever-growing one. It's like tightly knit. I wouldn't say small, but tightly knit, because there's so much that's out in the open, so much open source. Some people I've met today, I gave them a big hug for the first time, having never met them before in person, because I have worked with them so much online, and it's just a really cool community to see in person. And I guess it gives you some reassurance that everything is real. These are real people that you're working with. So I've gotten a lot out of it, and I hope everyone else that I've spoken with has gotten a lot out of it as well.
That is so cute. All right. Okay, so one more question. How would you describe React Native EU 2023 with just one sentence?
It's pretty cool. I don't know.
I love it. I mean, that's pretty cool. We're good with that. Will you come back next year?
If I am invited, yes. I would love to come back next year, and every year as long as it's running, because I think it's great. It's so cool to see how what the community is prioritizing, what we're working on. I've got some good ideas that I can take back to my team from this. So yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, Rory. It was a pleasure. See you next year then.
Thanks.
If you liked what you've just heard, check out more of the conference content. Follow us on social media, subscribe to our newsletter, and see you at React Native EU 2024.